Hey, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Westwood Living podcast. I am with Dr. Graham and Christina Stetson. You may know them as the world travelers who go around each month and provide some great content for us with the modernized places to see. Graham, how are you doing this morning?
Very well, sir. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm happy to be here. Christina, what's happening?
Not much. It's a beautiful day.
It is. We rolled in here. We're in the back office, Graham's office at Modernize, which is right here in the center of Norwood. And can I give some history before we start hopping into this?
Go ahead.
So I met Christina before I met Graham, came in here for a meeting. It was, I believe, spring, early summer of 2025. And it was actually Christina's idea to come up with this travel column, which I immediately fell in love with because I'm like, wow, great content, really cool, something I don't have to do, fantastic.
And I was shocked because you said, oh, I asked if I could write it. And you said, oh, you'd write it too? And I'm like, absolutely. I'm excited.
It's been really cool. So the concept, which is a great play on words, is that Graham and Christina love to travel. And every month they're giving us a different article that is titled The Modern Eyes Places to See. I mean, come on, how perfect is that? That was very well thought out.
It was fun. I think it was a collaboration that worked out.
So off the top of my head, I'm going to try to remember some of the places we've been, and this is in no particular order, but we've literally been to Plymouth, we've been to Los Angeles, we've been to North Adams, Massachusetts. You had the great fortune of going over to Italy, so we've seen a couple of articles about Italy. I remember one from Naples, Florida. I think I've gotten us up to about like 6 or 7 at this point. 6, 7, like that. My kids will enjoy that. But did I miss any? Can you think of any other place that you've been that I didn't remember? Providence? Did you go to Providence?
Providence. New Haven,
at Plymouth?
Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Portsmouth.
Oh, that was a fun one.
Yep.
Yeah.
What I love about the Plymouth one, Graham, you could talk about this, is that it was your mother, correct?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother.
Yeah.
Okay, so grandma goes down to the Plymouth, what's it officially called?
Plymouth Patuxent now.
Right, and she was originally there when?
1947.
Come on.
Like
The
when it was
year it opened.
opening. Yeah.
And so suddenly the tour guide stopped giving their tour and started asking questions, right?
Yeah, and my grandmother will always be happy to tell people exactly what was going on. You know, chickens running around everywhere. It was a bloody mess, buildings still under construction. But yeah, she had fond memories.
I mean, how cool must that be for her to be able to go back to a place so many years later and see how it's evolved and then begin to understand the historical significance. So these are the little nuggets that you get when you read the Modernized Places to See. But the opportunity today is to learn more about your business, kind of your passion for eye care, eye health. Everybody has a different approach to it from who sits in a seat like yours. So I'll start with you, Graham, as the doctor, and you and Christina work together. Obviously, Christina more on the marketing end of it, and it's a big partnership, and you've bitten off a big piece here in Norwood. Give us your thoughts, Graham, about how it started, your passion for eye care, what took you down this path.
Well, I originally came up with the idea for my own practice because I wanted to be able to provide the appropriate level of care that I felt that each patient needed. And I didn't feel that was necessarily possible for any number of reasons at various places that I had practiced before. And I also have a passion for educating people and for promoting the field of eye care because it's, I would say, neglected, but I think it's just a lack of understanding and information that the public has about eye care and its actual implications. And so, I educate my patients and I hopefully educate future doctors in the importance of this field and, the implications on overall systemic health.
So I have stopped in here and received your treatment, and I find it to be very caring, very, to your point, educational, because when you're talking to somebody, specifically in my case, you were walking me through not just any diagnoses per se, but the reasons behind that and how you were getting to your conclusions, which I thought was pretty cool throughout the journey. But part of what you're doing is running a business, and running a business is a team effort, and you had to jump into this together. So Christina, I turned to you, and when you and Graham were talking about the concept of Modernize becoming a reality, what was going through your mind about the reality of it being a business that you had to be conscious of and how to make it successful?
So it's funny. I've been in academic medicine for actually academic ophthalmology for over 20 years. So I've seen every way to run a clinic and every way not to run a clinic. And being a non-medical person myself, I see it more from the patient's perspective. So as we were putting together the idea, putting together the team, everything had to be better. Everything had to be more accessible for patients. Making them a partner in their care is so important. That's part of what the education is, because people that appreciate what's going on are more able to engage in the process. And our team here is one of the best I've seen because they really do care. And we hire nice first. And it really shows in the team. And that was an early decision in our strategy to make it a better practice, a better experience for everyone.
No pun intended, but your storefront is also very eye-catching. It reminds me, go back to the days of Fifth Avenue in New York City, where part of the appeal of a Macy's or a Bloomingdale's or wherever it might be is in how they caught your eye on the street, the storefront, window front decor. And I believe, Christina, that's your thing.
I'm an artist by heart. One of the things that's great about vision is that it applies to every aspect of your life. And being able to see beautiful pieces of artwork are clearly a benefit of good vision. And we had these huge windows, 26 linear feet of windows. And glasses are pretty small. They're about 6 inches. So how do you make that stand out on the window? Well, we started small and it just grew from there. And we've had some really crazy designs. And we always love it when people say it's a reason to walk downtown,
yes.
Being in this whole walkable area and having people excited to shop. Because at this point, shopping has become a necessity. You go and you blitz through Amazon or online. It's not fun anymore. It's like major research even. This is like a pleasure to have people walk by and enjoy their day. Even if they just stop in to tell us they love the window. They're not even customers. They're not even patients. Doesn't matter.
Yet.
Yeah.
Right? That's the key. So just catching their attention. You're also both very passionate about being involved in the community. That sort of speaks to your involvement with what we do in Westwood and everything that we do to try to get the community engaged and tell the stories. But you do that here in Norwood as well. And I know that there's a lot of things in Norwood that happen, from the farmers market that's over on the green. And you're very engaged not only in that, but also in some other groups. So which of you two want to talk about that, how important that is to just stay engaged and be a front-facing face that people in this community see?
So up until the end of last year, Christina and I were on the board of trustees for the Friends of Norwood Center, which is an organization trying to bring community and business together in Norwood. We recently resigned due to lack of bandwidth and other commitments and needing to focus more on the business as we're getting busier. But we're out at the farmers market, we're out at Norwood Day. I particularly have a passion for children's vision because I've seen so many people adversely affected in the careers that were available to them because of the fact that their visual system did not do the job that it was supposed to when they were in school. So their academic performance suffered greatly. So I lecture school nurses here at Norwood, and I have one planned up at Needham. I have a recorded lecture for school teachers, giving them information on things to look out for that can affect learning negatively. So children's vision is a passion for me, even though I'm not necessarily a pediatric optometrist.
All right, I have to tap into that more for the average person, parent. To be things a parent should be aware of as their child is going through schooling. And is there any early indication that maybe eyesight is part of the issue with my child for a reason he or she might be struggling a little bit?
Well, I think it's always worth exploring. I think, I know a lot of children get misdiagnosed with stuff like ADHD and dyslexia when it's really their visual system letting them down, leading to poor behavior in the classroom. And so any children with an IEP or 504 diagnosis of ADHD or dyslexia really should have an eye exam with somebody that's going to assess other binocular and accommodative functions aside from can you read letters on a blackboard, because that's a very small part of what our visual system does.
Wow. How did you get so passionate about this specifically?
Frankly, just practicing. You see somebody in their 30s, 40s, and they're bagging groceries at Shaw's, and you have them in your exam chair, and you're like, this is a really smart person. What would they be doing if their eyes worked for them? And you run some tests, and you ask them questions about their learning experience, and you see some big problems visually. And it's like, well, no wonder this person did do well in school, but if their visual system had worked, what would they be doing now? Probably not bagging groceries at Shaw's. And that frustrates me.
And the other thing to know is that kids don't know what vision is. They don't know that they're not seeing well. They don't know that their vision isn't up to par. They see what they see, and they can't communicate that to an adult necessarily. So sometimes going in to get an eye exam, you can pick up on things that the kid goes, oh yeah, well, I've never been able to see the board. It's always been blurry. It's like, okay. Sometimes it comes down to knowing where your kid's sitting in the classroom. If they're sitting all the way in the back in one class and their grades are suffering, but they're really good in other classes where they sit closer to the board, that could be an indicator.
Wow. All right. I didn't get your take, and I wanted to backtrack a little bit on the community engagement, because you're a big part of that as well. As Graham's running this practice, you're the one who's thinking about how we're going to get engaged with the community. Where does that come from? You're passionate about it, and what have you learned about it?
So there is something wonderful about this part of Massachusetts. People are so friendly. We're from the Midwest. I'm from the Midwest originally, and I gotta say, it still takes the cake being in this area. People talk to each other. People care about each other. That's one of the reasons we love being in downtown, this walkable area, is because we're an active and visual part of the community, and we try and match that. Being engaged in the library, through my women's group, we do Women in Business. We do a whole series of lectures through the library. We've done outreach to the community, and it's something where we're helping each other. We're being the support system for each other, and in some ways bringing those ideas, if you will, to the greater world.
Very cool. Congratulations. I'm impressed. You're like me. Very similar. I mean, it's that same kind of drive that you just want to bring people together as best as you can. I do want to pivot a little bit to one of the great opportunities you had to enjoy Villa Monarca, which is the villa that's run by the Esposito family. And we know the Espositos, having told their story in the magazine a few years ago. Dominic, very passionate in his work with the Opioid Spoon Project. And then we had the chance to talk, Dominic and I, last summer about this villa that they have in Tuscany. And among the things he said, and you should be happy to know this, is he said to me, he goes, and you have that couple who writes that travel column in the magazine. He goes, you think they'd want to come to the villa and write about it? I'm like, I think we could probably arrange that. So ultimately that did happen. And I just want to get behind the scenes about what that experience was like, because that's really coming a bit full circle, where it's like, by the way, you probably didn't know you were signing up for this, but how about a trip to Italy?
I actually remember that conversation with you and said, wait, is that a question? Wait, do you want to go to Italy? What? Will they? Yes, absolutely. Give us a moment. That was incredible. I mean, there is no real words to describe it, unfortunately, because that's what we're here to do. But it comes down to just feeling, again, a part of the community, feeling engaged. It's like we picked up and moved to Italy for the week. You went to all these local spots, you got to all these local characters, the sort of inroads that you don't make on a vacation because you're only there for a week, and you might see somebody at the grocery store or whatever once or twice, but you don't actually get to put down any kind of roots. And I feel like we left a couple of roots in Italy.
Yeah, you can go back.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think Dom and Monica did an amazing job of curating a series of activities and events that other guests at the villa could experience, so that we were able to see how they've leveraged their social capital in making a bunch of great connections and friends that allow them to give their guests a heck of a lot more than, here, go plop down in a villa, you're on your own. And they have great staff. Gabriela is the property manager out there, and he is fantastic. He's concierge, he's maintenance, he's friendly, he's just a great guy, and he's the interface out there at the villa. And I'd go there again in the heartbeat. I just go to harvest olives. That was a blast.
Oh yeah.
Well, no surprise, when you got back, the first thing Christina said is, I think this is more than one column. So I should note at this point, if you haven't had the chance to read the Modernized Places to See series, we do have it archived. It's on the website, westwood-living.com, and then Modern Eyes. And on that specific page, you'll find all of these articles that have been written over the years. In fact, the February issue has your second installment from Italy. You probably can't even remember exactly where we are because we're always on a cycle like, what's next, right? You've already had your next trip. You're already writing your next column.
I'm writing the next one, so.
So the February issue is the second column from Italy specifically, and I think there might even be more, but they've been very insightful. I truly enjoy just the way in which you write it, where it's, places to see, things to do, places to eat. It's very simple reading, because when you think about how people read a publication like this, it is short snippets. They have short periods of time. So I appreciate that formatically. When I get it every month, I'm like, perfect. What's next? What's on the agenda for travel before we get to the what's next on the business? What are you thinking?
So we do have a couple of episodes planned. One of them may be a collaboration, actually, the first of it, our kind, with one of our patients who is going to share their travels with us. So it's modernized places to see. It's not necessarily Graham and Christina places to see. So that will be in Peru. We also have one planned for New Orleans, Denver, and another Italy article coming your way, because again, there was just too much to fit into the word count, and we didn't want to lose out on a lot of the great things that we were able to see over the week.
Yeah, it was a very busy week, and outside of the villa, we traveled quite a bit in the Tuscany region as well as Rome. So there's a lot still to come.
All right, let's talk about future of the business. Ever changing. It ultimately is healthcare, which is at its core unpredictable. So how do you look ahead? How far are you allowed to look ahead? A vision of 2 years, a vision of 5 years? What, Graham, is your vision for where you see Modern Eyes?
So in the next 2 years, we're likely to add another doctor here, expand the number of patients we can see per day. Within 5 years, I would imagine we'd have at least another office open in the area. What I've tried to do is to develop a model of eye care that is efficient but superior to most other eye care you get, where you're pretty much just checking somebody's prescription, which to me is the smallest part of what I do. So I'd like to be able to promulgate that idea and spread it out so that more people could receive quality eye care at a cost similar to other practices in a manner as efficient as other practices, so that people can really get the care that they need for their eyes to work as well as they need them to for their entire lives.
Love it. Graham wrapped that up pretty well, but from the other side, where you're looking to build and market and get out front facing, what do you see as the keys moving forward?
So the key for me is to, basically just get folks to recognize that having blurry vision might actually be the best thing that happened to you, because you go in, you see an eye doctor, you could catch something. A lot of things do not have symptoms to them. So going in to see an eye doctor, whether it's us or someone else, is something I always recommend. In fact, when folks say, "Oh, I just booked an eye exam, I would have rather come to see you," I said, "No, it's good. Go get your eyes checked. Wherever you get them checked, get them checked. We'd love to take care of you, and we'd love to show you what we can do. But honestly, vision is 80% of your perception of the world. Protect that at all costs, and we're here to help you with that."
So the steps to take are pretty simple. You want to visit the website, which is mymoderneyes.com. Go there today, check it out, get to know the staff a little bit better. Otherwise, come check out the window, 696 Washington Street, right in the center of Norwood. And I'll give both of you one last word. Any final thoughts for the people as we wrap it up?
We're so excited to see you.
I love it.
And we're excited to help you.
That is Dr. Graham and Christina Stetson, the owners of Modern Eyes, which you should know more about now that you've taken a couple minutes to listen to our conversation. As always, if there's someone else you want me to have a conversation with, just reach out, send an email to Leyden@bestversionmedia.com. I will find that person or those people, have that conversation, and then share it with you right here on the Westwood Living Podcast Network. But for now, with Dr. Graham and Christina, this is Tom Leyden saying so long, and thanks so much for listening.